In the dark recesses of cyberspace exists nightmare fuel we take as fallacy, but these tales and images are cursed through the power of belief. Tulpas, sentient thought forms residing in between the abyss of life and death. Their endgame is to destroy the only reality they know, ours. Only darkness can vanquish darkness, more rapid than the radiance of light. Enter the CRYPTIDNALS, mythical beasts of unearthly abilities whose existence has been criminalized by humanity. The first and only line of defense against the incursion of otherworldly evil. A secret war of monsters is about to begin.
What is up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This is Phil from Zaid Comics, and we are back this week with another awesome interview talking about some sick comics that are up on Indiegogo right now. And I think this is the first time we've had the 656 guys on, but what a great group of creators, and pumping out, as you can see, some kick-ass work again. They did Undead Border before and shipped that out, and that is fulfilled. So you guys know that you're going to be getting, getting a product in hand. It's going to be some high-quality stuff, as you could see from that trailer. But let's give a shout-out to some people that are here early. Shadowhawk, what's up? Thank you for tuning in, as always. And Earth Mind, how you doing? What's up to you, brothers? Hey there, Shadowhawk, of course. Johnny Cage is here as well. And if you guys are tuning in for the first time, please hit that like, subscribe, because we do these streams like at least once a week with a new creator talking about a book. Jeremy Burtz is also here. Thanks for tuning in. And let's get these guys in here and talk a little bit about their book and the creative process. So, of course, we have Oliver and the man himself, Happy Harry Hardon. What's up, brothers?
What's up, going, guys?
Man? Thanks for coming on, guys. Now this year, has it been a week yet that this campaign's been up?
It's a week today, no?
Yeah, today like I think today at 9 Eastern, it's a week. So
that's right. You launched on the 5th. You launched on Cinco, which was awesome. Got funded on Bancroft Show, which is always a great feeling. Great to see. Just the chat was hype and pushing for the book and back. And that's when I backed. I grabbed that 2-pack with the main cover and the Mothman cover. Just looks so cool. Yeah, but so I'm so glad that you guys are able to come onto the channel and talk about this book, because it's looks freaking awesome.
Awesome. Appreciate it very much, Diaz. Mr. Zaid Comics himself. It's been a while, man. We always wanted to be on your show. We wanted to hang out and talk to you guys, Raza and everything. And we do appreciate you having us on here to talk about what we love to do. So. Yeah, dude,
Undead Border, everybody blew up about that. You had some sick ass art for that. I remember specifically the Preston cover. You had, the Preston Acevedo cover. Mm-hmm. It was so cool. And I remember the first time I saw this was probably a month or even longer ago, just this cover, and I'll pull it up right here. That main cover, I'm like, dude, this is so simple, but it's so creepy and cool. And it's like, what am I looking at? But it's so awesome. And I'm like, this is going to be amazing. And once you open up the book and look at those pages, as we saw in the trailer, we'll get into that. It's just a whole nother level. I love the story of how, this started. We'll get into that too. But I kind of wanted to, talk to you guys about how you got into creating comics. And I don't know if you guys in the chat know, but Oliver has actually done some color work for us. He did a beautiful colored trading card that EJ Morges drew up. I'll pull it up in a second, but it's just so good. The first time I saw some of your work was on over Preston's art.
3 nights, 4 days, right?
Actually, the trading card you did for Grave Robbers.
Yeah. That
was cool super cool. And then, of course, 3 nights, 4 days. Working with him, and he just does the straight pencil to paper, and then you're coloring that. So that looks really cool as well, man.
it's very easy coloring Preston
Yeah,
because he's very dirty. He has dirty lines. The pencil. So
yeah,
my color is just like you don't notice my colors. You just notice his pencil work.
yeah. It's just it goes hand in hand. I know he
Yeah.
loves. Like I've talked to him. He loves working with you,
Mhm.
and that way. So it's really amazing when you guys have like a synergy from colorist and artist.
Yeah.
But is that how you kind of got into comics? Is just through coloring, or how did that happen? And meeting all these guys and putting out these badass books.
And in our collective 6x6 Comics, I'm a illustrator. Actually, I draw.
What?
Sometimes, yeah. I got into drawing first, and coloring. Coloring is easier, man, than drawing because
Yeah,
it's just there's it's a lot less hassle because lot less erasing and composition and all that. I mean, not to talk bad about coloring, but coloring has its own uniqueness, right? But it's coloring is how I got into the industry actually, and
Yeah.
when I worked with IDW with James O'Barr and all that jazz. So
awesome.
yeah, for me, coloring got me into comics much easier than actually drawing. So
Well, that's the thing, right? Like,
yeah,
I kind of like equate it to being in a band, right?
Mhm.
There's like millions of guitarists that want to be that lead guitarist,
Yeah.
but maybe someone wants to play the keyboard or the bass, and
Of
you
course,
have
yeah.
that,
You have to be that guy, You have to be part of the band, but you have to do that. The less glamorizing part of the work.
Yeah, be in the background. That's
Yeah.
why, like right now, everybody's looking for colorists and letterers because there's only a handful of
Mhm.
people that have proven themselves that are out there looking for that work. Everybody wants to be the star artist, which like yourself, a lot of people wouldn't know it, but these colorists, they are illustrators as well. But that's where
course.
the money is for them.
Yes, a lot of have to how to use colors. What's the word? Hues, values, contrast, all that
Yeah, like
stuff. You know how
color
to use
theory and stuff.
color theory. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I wing it sometimes, dude. I mean, if I see two tones that fit perfectly, I use it, man.
yeah, we've seen a lot of people winging it on colors recently, but
Are you bringing that up, guy?
no. We're talking about the Cryptinals, this awesome cover, and you guys have 3 kick-ass covers. This is another one I picked up, this Mothman one,
Cool.
and I heard on another stream you guys were saying this is kind of an homage to an X-Men like Wolverine crucifixion cover, which is so cool that at first glance you don't notice that, but when you bring it up, it's like, oh yeah, that's the good thing. That's how you do a good homage where it's not super obvious. I'm tired of the reflection and Wolverine's claws homage that everybody does. But
That's true.
this is so cool because it's its own thing, man.
I talked Ray out of doing the Spider-Man 300 homage. So I'm
I
just
wanted to
kidding.
do it so badly, man. I was like, yes, the Spider-Man 300. And then he's like, no.
It was gonna be a Bigfoot like jumping.
Like jumping and stuff.
All those bent
Yeah.
up limbs. Let's see. We got Amanda B in the chat. What's up, Amanda? Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, man.
Yeah, and guys, like I said, share this out. Let people know we're going to be streaming for a little bit, talking about the Cryptinals. And what about you, man? How did you get into comics?
Man,
all this,
that's
writing this epic.
that story. I've told it a few times. I mean, I've been doing comics since I was in, I guess, high school, like right out of high school. But originally, when I was a kid, I got turned on to comics by the spinner rack at my local 7-Eleven. I think the first comic book that I ever picked up was X-Men 242. And that, you open up, that's the Inferno crossover. And as soon as you open up, you get this huge shot of Wolverine kissing Jean Grey. And I was like, what's this all about? And I just started, I started going from that. And that started my love affair with comics. But it wasn't until I ran across Faust number 4. That's when I really realized that, wait, there's more to this than just, Marvel and DC and Vigil. The way that Vigil his art was beautiful and then horrifying at the same time. And I couldn't get enough of it. And I found that book for 50 cents at the swap meet, and I just like I coveted that book, and I took it everywhere with me. And I actually got busted with that book in high school, because I don't know if you've seen that issue or you remember that issue, but the whole issue is nothing but Faust, the main character, running around with a raging fucking hard on all over the place, just killing people.
Yeah.
And my math teacher found it, and she like, we need to talk. And I was like, whoa, what did you find? And it was that book. And I'm like, oh man. And you know, I had the privilege of meeting Vigil a few times, and he's quite a character. But I knew that I had to do comics. I knew I had to do something different, and I've just been working with different people since then. And I was kind of absorbed by 656 Comics a few years ago because we knew about each other and we'd worked together, but we were never on the same team, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, like everybody that I was working here in El Paso kind of just disappeared. They kind of faded away, and I was the only one standing. And these guys were like, well, I guess you join us now. There's no other way to go. So I got absorbed by them. And,
join us or else.
Yeah, pretty much join us or perish kind of thing. It was an ultimatum. And I'm like, oh, these guys are from Juarez. I better listen.
Here's some Faust action for you.
There you go. Yeah. I have all my Faust right here somewhere.
Vigil's crazy. Like, I follow him on Instagram, and the stuff he posts is amazing and horrific and sexy and to the extreme. That guy is something else.
Oh yeah, man.
So cool. If you guys have an Instagram, definitely follow him. He posted some like pictures of like a like cute bunny being like, oh, Instagram tried to they threatened to take my account down. Stuff's too extreme. Please don't do that. And he's like posting this innocent stuff. But yeah, I love hearing people's influences and what got them in there, because that's a very horror book, and like the writing in here. I mean, we'll get into the pages, but look very, very horror oriented. And who are these characters here? We'll get into the characters.
This was actually another homage cover. Mm-hmm. The artist that drew this one, his name is Aurelio Mazzara. He worked for Marvel. He's an Italian artist. He's worked for Marvel on a few different projects. Nothing too high profile, but he did do the concept art for Psycho Gorman, a movie that came out. Recently.
Yeah, I heard that was awesome. Cecil was raving about it.
It was. I loved it. Oli says it's like glorified Power Rangers with gore. But,
you should check it out, man.
Yeah. It's fun. It's a really fun movie. And I asked him to do a homage cover, and this is one of the Wizard covers when Jean Grey and Marvel Girl on the cover, and they're kind of like holding hands by Adam Hughes. And I asked him to do that homage, and he did this with El Ñango, which is our version, our better version of the Slender Man in the background. So
White Queen, no? You meant White Queen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry, the White Queen.
White Queen, yeah.
By Adam Hughes, right?
Adam Hughes, yes, sir.
This is awesome. So you guys have, I think, some great variation in styles for your covers, for depending on what people like. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely grab one of these. These are kick-ass. But when you open the book, man, I mean, look at this stuff. This is freaking insane, dude.
That's all Dario, man.
It's all Dario, man.
Yeah, he is something else. I mean, I think you were on Malin's show, and he was just, freaking out of this art. John Malin was like, oh, this is so amazing. It's basically like you're like etching into blackboard with his use of whites and darks here. It's amazing. And like the only other, what this reminds me of is if you guys seen Joe Ball's work. Joe Ball does really heavy inks and lines like this as well, but mixed with another artist that I know. But it's mind blowing. The expressions, the horror, the different. You could feel the skin, the monster's skin, because it is so detailed. It's mind blowing, dude. I had to pick this up.
Awesome. Cool. I'm glad that you like it. Yeah, when I approached Dario, and we tell this story as well. When I first approached Dario, I started working on this in 2016, and in 2018, after doing all the research that I wanted to do, I approached him and I'm like, hey man, I want to pitch this to Alterna. Can you help me out? I know, 656 doesn't know about this. So let's try to keep it under wraps and see if we can do it and, just get it out there. And he was like, sure, no problem. So Dario's very soft-spoken, very gentle soul, man. He's a muralist, a sculptor. He's the Renaissance man. And he started delivering these pages that I thought were kick ass, and I wanted it to be in color. And he's like, yeah, let's do this. So he did the first 6 pages, and then we sent it out. I pitched it to Alterna, and that's when Peter got swatted. And those pages got lost in the ether. Like, we never found out if he got them. He like kind of shut down for a while. So we're like, damn, man, those pages. So I came around, and Dario was like, you should show these to Oli and everybody. Like, oh, I guess. All right. So I turned and I showed it to these guys, and they were like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, these are good, but you're not using Dario to his full potential, man. You gotta start over. And Oliver was very adamant on that. Like, you gotta go back to the drawing board. You gotta start all over again. Yeah. And those pages compared to these pages, and I think we're going to include those pages in Dario's sketchbook somewhere, so you can see where they came from. But it's nothing. Those pages are nothing compared to this that he's producing right now. And the color aspect, I argued with Oliver for about a week, and this is me arguing with a colorist. Okay, I wanted color, and he's like, no color, and I'm like, what do you mean? I need color. And for a whole week, we just argued back and forth. And he won out, and it was the best decision possible because these pages came out gorgeous in black and white, and with these grays and stuff. So
it's eye catching. It's super memorable. Like, you had a excuse me, you had a trailer before this new trailer, right? Mm-hmm. And you were showing it around. It might have been on maybe Shay's stream or something, but it was also a really cool trailer, just like the one we saw, and it had this imagery, and I never forgot it. I'm like, this is going to be something super special, super kick-ass. And the characters as well. It's like, the X-Men cryptids, this team of monsters, which we'll get into. So cool. And I totally agree. Definitely should be left black and white. Have you considered playing around with the idea of leaving the pages uncoded? Because I know a lot of people really like black and white books with uncoded pages. It gives it that different feeling. It doesn't have any shine to it, and kind of looks like how they do like old school comics or even mangas. I know they do the pages like that. So just a suggestion to when you get your proofs in, I would like to
actually our Undead Border, we used uncoded paper. So
cool.
Because it's black and white, like you said, it has to have that texture because it's black and white.
Yeah, good.
You don't need gloss. You don't need satin paper because it's black and white. You don't need to. It doesn't need to be shiny.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the same thing here.
No, that's awesome. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna play around with that too with my next Lost Pages book. It's gonna focus on the silhouette, which is gonna be in black and white. So I'm gonna get a proof done with that. And oh man, I was showing my brother this campaign. And he's like, oh, dude, those black-eyed kids are so cool. They're so creepy. And I had never heard of them before, but it's pretty awesome. They're freaky. And just the splash page is so awesome.
There's a ton of stuff on black-eyed kids on YouTube. And watch it during the day because, it gets pretty...
Yeah, dude. Like,
pretty creepy.
It's in the morning and you start going down the rabbit hole, that does not help you sleep at all, man. Like...
Yeah, and let's get into the story because I love taking, mythology that people have thought of over centuries or happenstance or supernatural stuff and putting it into my writing as well. Like a lot of my wildcard stories with that character, all of his enemies are like mythological figures. So for you guys to throw these cryptids in here is really interesting because there's a baseline that you could just add more clay to, and make it your own, which is I love that. And with these characters here, some of them we are familiar with, maybe other people won't be as familiar, but let's talk about, where the idea came from and how you built this team.
So originally, when I first started doing the research, the CRYPTIDNALS were a completely different story. I wanted to do this story where these cryptids were hired by some sort of government black ops agency, and they were sent out into the world to retrieve like artifacts, like supernatural paranormal artifacts, like the Spear of Destiny and the Crown of Christ and stuff like that. And then I started getting more into it, and I'm like, I like the cryptid aspect more than I like this, covert government operative thing, because that's been done to death. I thought,
sure.
There was that one show on Cartoon Network, the Super Saturdays or something like that. And that's what the premise was. They had like a Mothman and they had all these other characters, and this government agency was hiring them to like protect the world. And I was like, no, 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 let's get away from that. So when I started writing the story, I started drawing from reality. All the research that I did, there's like a lot of I guess the legends and everything that we've grown up with that we know about these characters that are sprinkled throughout the story, and also real places that these cryptids have been spotted. So I started there, like, okay, I got to draw from reality, got to give them a base, got to give them everything that they need, to kind of exist, even though they don't really exist supposedly, and then start drawing from that and creating the team. And the first one that was on the team automatically was the Man Dog. The Man Dog is like a local legend here in El Paso and Juarez. He's a cursed Texas Ranger. He was cursed during the Salt Wars for committing a lot of atrocities and sins against the people. And it was the first time that the Texas Rangers were ever defeated in any sort of battle. That's the one time they came down to San Elizario to stop these Salt Wars that were going on. This argument that the villagers in San Eli were having with these rich landowners and blah blah blah, and the Rangers were massacred by this village, these whole villagers with Mexicans with a bunch of machetes and hoes and stuff, and they killed all the Texas Rangers. And according to legend, there was one that they left alive, and the village shaman cursed him and told him that he would walk the earth, he would wander the earth for all time eternal as a dog, never finding a home, never being able to find how to redeem himself. And that was the legend. And I drew from that, and we created the Man Dog. And right here is the original Man Dog story that our good friend David Olivares had drawn several years ago. And so just this fascination with this creature, this cryptid, because of course everyone's heard about the Dogman, and there's Dogmen all over the place.
Michigan Dogman,
the Michigan Dogman. But the Man Dog is just one of a kind. There's one Man Dog, and
much
that's
cooler.
It. Mm-hmm.
When I heard you tell that like backstory of the Man Dog on probably Bancroft, I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like just the legend behind it is so cool. You could do so much with that character. He's a cursed hero, and it's awesome. I was like, I got to get this book just because of that. Like alone, it was just fresh, and that supernatural aspect with that Western style. I just love that stuff. And, hats off to you guys for putting this book together, because I'm super hype about it, man. It's so cool.
Thank you so much, Phil. Appreciate that. Yeah, the Man Dog is our favorite. He's the Wolverine, I guess, of the group, of the team. Because we put him through the ringer. He's actually Dario's favorite character, and we were looking at the pages where he comes out, and good God, man, poor guy. Even Wolverine would be like, hey, ease up, okay? Leave the poor guy alone. But that's the Man Dog, and right here we see him facing off against the Rake, and he has these two guns, and every time he uses the gun, each bullet in the gun, they're spectral, they're like magical weapons. Every time he uses a bullet, he reverts back to human form for 1 hour. But the thing is that because he's cursed, if he dies as a human, he's damned for all eternity, in hell. So he's trying to redeem himself. He's trying to figure out a way to do good to that point where he's redeemed. But every time he gets to that point and he questions it, nothing happens. He's like, so is that enough? Am I at that point now where I can be freed of this curse? And because of that, he just keeps on going. So he's a few hundred years old in the story already.
Dude, that's awesome. That's super cool. I love it, dude. Let's talk about let's see. We got some new people in the chat here. Xavier says Dario is Mexican Jesus, basically.
Pretty much. If you see Dario, he looks like Mexican Jesus.
We got Brian Kriskow in the chat, another man that's familiar with Western characters.
Good to see you, Brian.
Six Gun. Dude, awesome. Brian, I just finished the newest Six Gun Gorilla, the issue, the big gun down. It was awesome. Lots of action, lots of fun. Can't wait for the next one. That one is on Indiegogo right now. So look up the new Six Gun Gorilla by Brian.
I'm coloring that one, by the way.
Really? Oh yeah. Preston's doing the work on that. So we got Ali coloring that. That's gonna be sick. Can't wait for that.
We can have a crossover with Six Gun Gorilla and the Man Dog piece.
Man Dog, dude, that'd be awesome. All right, who else we got on this team?
The team leader is Spring Hill Jack, or rather Raydron. So this version of Spring Hill Jack is the daughter of the original Spring Hill Jack. And not a lot of people know this, but during the 1950s, Spring Hill Jack made a few appearances in Texas and in New Mexico. They were sightings of Spring Hill Jack. So that's where we draw from, in that story to place that character in this area at that time. And it does come into the story as to what he was doing here, what was going on and stuff. But her story arc is that she's looking for her father. Something happened and her father was lost. So right now that's her main job. Like, I got to find my dad. I got to know what happened. I got to know he's all right. And that comes to play in the story as well. So she's kind of like the de facto leader of the CRYPTIDNALS right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really like Spring Heel Jack character. I, for the longest time, never even heard of the Spring Heel Jack, and maybe like last year, maybe 2 years ago, my brother like was researching stuff, and he got really big into cryptids, like watching YouTube videos on them and stuff like that, because he's into it. So and then he came across Spring Heel Jack, and I'm like, oh, dude, that would be such a cool character in a comic book. Like, I have a hero whose name is the Masquerade, and he's based in like the 1930s, and he's very like the Shadow or the Phantom. Like, that would be an awesome villain for the Masquerade. And I love that you have the lore in here and doing like the descendant of Spring Heel Jack, because I still think not a lot of people know about that character or cryptid. I was literally just talking about this with my brother the other day. It's really weird because it's like one of the only cryptids that is like almost human. Like, he wears a helmet and he's got a cloak and he wears clothes and stuff. And he was just diving into more videos about him too. So I can't wait to see what you do with that character. And yeah, I'm
sorry.
Go on.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was about to say, yeah, it's an awesome character.
Yeah, super cool. And La Llorona, man, this is another one that I was super excited when I heard you guys were doing this character, kind of putting a heroic twist on this. So can't wait to see what you do with her.
Yeah, La Llorona, a lot of people have been drawn to the book because of the fact that we're kind of, flipping the script and doing her as a hero and giving her a reason other than her being this, boogeyman that steals kids and, murders children and stuff. And everyone's like, how are you going to redeem a child murderer? How are you doing that? It's like, just watch, just read the book and you'll see, there's a reason for
good
it.
Writing.
Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And then now is this Kid Cthulhu is also on the team? It's a good guy.
As far as we know, yes, he's still a good guy. He's during the story, not to give too much away, but there's this huge battle. It's called the Battle of Nightmare Hall, and Cthulhu actually crosses over into this reality. But when they cross over, he gets trapped in an embryo, a human embryo. So Cthulhu is trapped inside the body of a 7-year-old boy. So this is Elder God trapped inside the body of a 7-year-old boy.
Genius. I love it. These ideas are so cool, man. It kind of gives me vibes of teenage Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. So you have that very monster-esque creature, and you have this attitude of adolescence. And then now these are the bad guys.
Yes, these are the tulpas. A tulpa is a sentient thought form, something that's we have belief in that comes to life and manifests itself as flesh and bone. So the first one up is El Ñango, which, like I said earlier, is our version of the Slender Man. I always thought the Slender Man was kind of boring because he didn't really have a good backstory. It's just some dude in the woods with a 3-piece suit that has tentacles and lures children to their death. Okay, great. But El Ñango actually draws, from reality as well, other literature and stuff. And there's a reason for him existing. There's a reason for him being around and creating these black-eyed kids. Not to give away too much, but he's the one that's creating all these black-eyed kids. So
awesome. He looks so gross too. I just love the disturbing body horror of this guy. Really cool, and stuff that I'm not seeing around in comics right now. It totally, Dario's using all of his skills just on this one character with all of the textures and everything. Like this guy, you touch him, he's gonna be like wet spaghetti, right?
There you go.
More or less, yeah, more or less.
That's a good description.
And here's the Rake, another tulpa.
Rake is another tulpa as well. It's been gaining a lot of popularity over the internet, creepypastas, sightings. Like if you go on YouTube and you type in Rake, you see about a Rake sightings. And there's reason for it to, that's been popping up so much. And we explain that as well in the story.
So sick. And of course, the Black-Eyed Kids, which They don't sing that song "Let's Get Retarded." That's different. Black Eyed Kids.
If they do, it's much scarier.
Yeah, I think so, man.
We got Pale Rider in the chat as well. 7-year-old boy that grows into a grown man that likes to. What is going on? Oh, he's talking about.
Why is he chased by the guy in the Barbie Jeep? Interesting.
I think he's talking about Sugar Chris. Chris. Poor Chris. They're always on his case. Dude, man, it's so fun. If you guys have not backed this yet, please do so. This is going to be a book you're not going to want to miss. If you're into horror and action, this is perfect for you. Like I would call it, it's like, a superhero team that are monsters. And it's just so cool. They're like, especially La Llorona, she's going to have that redemption in here. I can't wait to see how you guys write that. It's going to be so awesome.
And there's a bunch of I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and everybody likes the hot goth chick, so
yeah. Hot goth chick. Now this is her. Is this her?
Yeah, that's La Llorona right there. That's when she's powering up and stuff, and she's trying to scare the shit out of this guy. Her story, I really enjoyed writing her story and her backstory, especially because growing up in this part of the border, as part of the country, we hear about La Llorona, but we never read anything about her because everything is always oral tradition. Like most of these stories are just oral tradition. Nothing's written down.
Right.
So to actually write down and say, this is a story, this is what I think happened, and for people to agree and be like, hey, that does make sense, then that, it's justification for using the character the way that we're using her.
Yeah. And this character, like she's pretty popular throughout Latin America, and even I, had heard about her from my dad and stuff when I was younger. And he's got a bunch of stories from like his parents and the very supernatural stuff going on that side of my family. But so cool to see you guys throwing this all together. A lot of passion going into this project. Love seeing, you guys are always on stream with your crew. The Bancroft launch was such a fun time. And now you guys are doing these stretch goals here because this book, I want everybody in the chat to know, this is like a 132-page book, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Crazy. So it's a full story. That's basically like, I wouldn't want to say like 4 or 5 issues of a regular comic in one book.
More or less, yeah.
Which I love books like that because, it's not going to leave you waiting for the next campaign if it's, only like, 32 pages or something. I love the amount of work you guys are putting into that. But you also have these stretch goals that will unlock other things. You want to talk about that?
Sure.
Oliver, you want to take that one? You always like talking about the main package.
Well, the ones we're looking at right now are part of the Elite VIP perk, which is the Cryptid Hunter.
Yeah.
You're going to get the whole 3 books, the Man Dog Unleashed supplemental book, and the Creature Apocryphal sketchbook, if you will.
Yeah.
Also, once we if you could go down a little bit further, we're also including a set of 12 Polaroids, which are what we're calling monster moments, which are like sightings on film of cryptids and tulpas, and with that comes an audio file that describes a set incident, sighting.
Yeah.
And for that VIP perk, we're gonna include a cassette tape with those audio files. So
dude, I love that. When I saw that, like that's such a good idea because my brother and I were like, oh, we should do something like that for Magic Hop and we have our songs that were made for the comic, doing like a cassette tape. And my brother's like, no one's got cassette decks though, but you guys are also have the MP3 available for people that aren't cool and don't have cassette decks.
Well, I've been researching how much is a cassette tape player in Amazon. They're about $20. So or go to a swap meet or Goodwill. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
all of those.
What were they saying on the other stream that we need to include pencils with it because you know how the tape would get.
Oh, I have to rewind the tape.
You have to rewind the tape with pencils.
Maybe I don't know. So right now we're about to unlock our first stretch goal.
Hell yeah!
So at 5K, everybody gets 4 Polaroids of the monster moments, no, the sightings and all that jazz. I mean, if you buy the Cryptid Hunter perk, you get everything like right at the spot. But if you like, if you want to wait, okay, let's wait then. But you're gonna get everything in parts, not in segments. So yeah, the first stretch goal you'll get four Polaroids, and if you reach 6K, you're gonna release the regular edition of the Dario sketchbook.
Nice.
So yeah, and in 7K, another set of 4 Polaroids. At 8K, the Mandong Unleashed regular edition cover, which we already have, but I'm getting it flatted right now. I'm gonna color it, and then we'll release it later on.
Sweet.
Did you already get the artwork?
Yeah, we got the artwork. Yeah, it's being flatted as we speak. So
no, just you just wait until you find out who's drawing this, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Ooh.
CG talent. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm excited, dude.
And the last stretch goal for now is another set of 4 Polaroids, adding the 12 Polaroids with that one.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
we gotta get
tape.
this
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say the cassette tape is exclusive to the main package of the Cryptid Hunter. That's the only way that you're gonna get those cassettes. And each cassette is actually gonna come in its own case with some artwork on it as well.
Yeah.
So you're getting a little bit more extra for that. The MP3s are going to be included with the regular Polaroids, but the Cryptid Hunter is getting both the cassette and the MP3s.
That's awesome. Something special, something super memorable. You know, I think with these campaigns, everybody needs to have fun with them as a creator. You know, throw something in there that's a little wacky that is going to help everybody remember your campaign and that you like having fun with this stuff, you know.
And also we're thinking of our perks to add more story, add more of an experience to the CRYPTIDNALS, so
make it more immersive and stuff.
Make it more immersive, huh?
Yeah, that's so cool. That's taking things to the next level. You know, it's not just a comic at that point. It's not just an IP that you're building. It's more that you're breaking through genre and medium barriers at the same time. And again, it's so those backers, those readers can remember this thing and hunger for more, because that's what we want.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to deliver. More bang for your buck. A reason for you to put down your hard-earned money and get something that's going to be worth it. Something that's not offered in the mainstream. Something that you're going to remember. And if I may add to this, right now I am working on gathering my materials, I guess, together, and there is going to probably be some action figures involved in this as well.
What?
So
That's awesome.
I'm just giving that. Not very many. I don't know if you saw the action figure that we gave away because we were drunk on Shade Street for Undead Border, but Oliver and I, we put together this action figure. It came out gorgeous, and I was kind of like at the end, like, no, I don't want to give this up. I don't want to give this up because it was so beautiful. But I think Wolverine, he's the one that ended up getting it.
Oh, awesome.
Man, like, even Oliver was like, why did we decide to give this away? But in this case, we're going with it, like, with eyes open. And if we do it, we'll be aware of what we're offering. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, I just shared my screen, so if you want to see the figure.
Yeah. Ooh, that's sick.
That's
so good. That's awesome, man. Good job, guys. I can't wait to see what you guys are whipping up for this now. Who did that art?
That was David Olivares.
Wow.
The guy who did the supplemental for Mandog.
Yeah, that's some really cool art. I love the style.
He's actually working on Hell's Pass 2, because Hell's Pass was a story that I came up with many years ago, self-published it, and it was actually in the same sandbox as Undead Border Escape or Die, but it took place in El Paso. And we needed a part 2 to it, and David approached me. He's like, "Hey, I want to draw part 2." So we're currently working on that, but his schedule's a little wonky. So whenever he gets a chance to draw, he does draw, and hopefully he'll be finishing that up soon so that we can offer it as well as a crowdfunding campaign.
That's exciting. Yeah, the whole 6x6 crew, totally professional. It's awesome to see you guys keep pumping everything out. I know you have stuff in the pipeline you're working on. And just so you could turn around and throw the next project out for all the readers. And hats off to you guys, because you guys are doing it right. and everybody loves when you're on stream. You guys are a riot. And if you guys in the chat haven't backed this yet, share it out as well. And if you guys can't back right now, definitely hit this heart button so you're following the campaign. That means anytime that these guys put up an update for the campaign, it'll let you know what's going on with their book. And then when you guys do have a chance, you could pick this bad boy up. You guys have 23 days left, and I'm sure you're going to be on a bunch more streams in this month. So I can't wait to see you guys pumping this out more.
Definitely. Yeah, we're going to keep going as far as we can take it. We want to get more stuff out there, of course. We don't want to go back to regular jobs. We want to keep doing comics full time. So this does help out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, guys, thanks for coming on. Where could people find you if they want to follow you for art and more CRYPTIDNALS news?
We're on Twitter as 656 Comics. We're on YouTube also. I'm at OnlyA656 on Twitter. I post some stuff I'm coloring there for other CG projects, and that's about it.
Yeah, the same for me. I mean, if you find 656 Comics, you'll find everybody that's under that umbrella. The CRYPTIDNALS as well, like on all platforms, all social media platforms, we're there. And there's also a TikTok for the CRYPTIDNALS if you guys are interested. 60 seconds of cryptids. We try to upload as much as possible. Right now, we're kind of pushing out the campaign. But if you go back in the stories that we have, it's a lot of cryptid information, videos, and stuff like that. So join us there as well.
Sweet, guys. Before we wrap up, I'm just gonna we put out an update today for Magic Cop. I wanted to show you guys some.
Awesome.
That is cool. I love that.
Thanks, man. So this is actually a new panel we put out today from the Ash Can. Alan Alonso is an awesome artist. He actually did our Masquerade story for the Lost Pages, but he's doing this kind of short story in the Ash Can. That's our character Grey Wolf. He's going above the law. He's putting his shotgun down, picking up the samurai sword, and seeking out some revenge in a kind of a game of death. Enter the Dragon style story.
Nice.
It's gonna be 14 pages. So he's killing it. He's doing the art and colors on his own. So can't wait to get this out to people. So if you guys haven't grabbed the Ash Can, please do. And we did get a few backers today. We got to 300 backers, which is amazing. Thank
awesome,
you
man! Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for everyone backing. We passed 23K and we're at 300 backers, which is much more than I think that's like 20 more backers than Magic Cop 1. So thank you, everybody. Check this out. If you guys want a book that is shipping right now, go check out the Lost Pages, which is still on demand. We ship it out. We're shipping one out tomorrow. And definitely check out this book here by 656 Comics, the CRYPTIDNALS. It's going to be something special, guys. I can't stress this enough. I backed mine day one, and awesome. I think you guys need to read it too, because it's hopefully. Are you guys going to be doing more of these books in the future, or is this like definitive?
I already booked Dario. We leave ourselves enough wiggle room at the end of this story, like if anybody ends up surviving. But we do leave ourselves enough wiggle room so that we have a part 2. And I booked him already for 2023 because I know this guy is going to start getting in demand, especially with the stuff that he's producing. People are going to start approaching him, in CG to get him to draw their book. So I already told him, like, dude, we got to do this. He's co-creator of the book, so he has an obligation as well. So I hope in 2023, hopefully you'll see something come up. Of course, this campaign hopefully does well so that we can do that in a few years.
Yeah, if you guys are loving this, spread it around and let people know about this book because it should be known, and definitely back it because this is going to be kick-ass. So thank you guys for watching. Guys, thanks for coming on. It was a blast having you and spreading the word about this book.
Thank you, man.
I can't wait to see what you guys do in the future.
Thank you so much. And we love being on streams like this, man. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity as well. And your stuff looks freaking amazing too. So I'm going to get over there too and try to back everything as soon as I can.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we're just like you guys. We want this to be our day jobs, so we could pump this stuff out. We got a lot of stories, and we want to be doing this for a really long time. So, guys, thanks so much for coming on in the chat again. Thank you for being here and taking the time out of your day to learn about the CRYPTIDNALS. And sub, like the video if you can, and we will see